JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 19th of June 2020, so yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's afternoon live session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, just to see how everything's kind of getting along before the close of the week. But yep, as always guys, before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos. And of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yeah, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there. Now then, quick update on what's happening here globally. So yep, the figure slowly continues to rise, unfortunately, so it will be quite interesting to see where we will be on Monday. Yep, I'll pick up on this of course on Monday. We'll see if this figure will stay below 9 million or not. Hopefully yes, but again, anything can happen, so yeah, be very careful guys. So, and let's continue monitoring the situation here. So let's see if on Monday we'll still won't be above 9 million. Now then, jumping into a few charts very quickly. So a quick update here on the German DAX. Not much has happened here today, just kind of the index did push higher. However, it still remained above this 12,484 zone that I talked about this morning. This is the level after a break of which we could consider some higher levels, but it didn't really quite travel above it. So yep, probably this is where we will end the week, and maybe we'll leave the move for next week. However, if we do get a nice push higher here today by the end of the closing bell, then of course this could just kind of increase the chances for DAX to drift further north towards this key area of resistance around the 12,887 or the 12,974 zone, where the last one marks the low of the 31st of January. Now then, and that's in case of the upside here. In terms of the downside, what I was talking about this morning was that if we would see a drop below the 12,133 territory, roughly around here, marked by the low of the 16th of June, then we could aim for slightly lower levels. However, this move lower could still be seen as a temporary correction before another leg of buying, because we would still be above this upside support line probably. If this upside, as long as this upside line remains intact, yep, still the bulls could have a chance to enter somewhere here and kind of take advantage of the lower price and drive it back to the upside. So that's kind of the idea. But from the very short-term perspective, if we do get a drop below the 12,133 territory, then yes, we will aim for slightly lower levels up until this 200-day EMA or this upside support line, as I mentioned earlier. NASDAQ 100 now, here the situation is quite interesting and difficult at the same time. So after we managed to break this upside support line taken from the low of the 3rd of April, the index kind of recovered, almost recovered all the losses made here from this the high of June, the highest point of June, which was around roughly around here near the 10,155 mark. Now, if we look at the cash index and where it is currently trading at, we can see that the price is already balancing not far from this level, from this 10,155 mark. It's currently sitting at around 10,100 zone. So it will be quite interesting to see if we can actually create a new higher high for this index, and if, of course, I mean, if this, well, if the new higher high, of course, will mean that the index is at an all-time high, at a new all-time high, because currently the all-time high is this 10,155 zone. So let's see if NASDAQ 100 can overcome this one today. If not, maybe something for next week. However, we'll keep an eye on this level here on the downside, the 9,737 zone. That's marked by the highest point of February and the previous, well, not the previous actually, but the all-time high that we had here in the beginning of this year. And a nice good drop below this could, yep, open the door towards lower levels. But again, for now, guys, it is at the moment moving higher. Let's see if we can overcome and create a new all-time high for this index. Gold. Quick update here. Not much is happening, to be honest. I mean, apart from that it has risen a little bit more. I talked about this this commodity this morning, and basically I kept talking about this 1723 territory, which kind of continues to act as a very nice area of support. And you can see that from here the precious metal is moving higher again. To be honest, for us, still the same game plan remains. We would prefer to wait for a push above the 1748 zone in order to aim for further accelerations here to the upside. And in terms of the downside, we would like to see a drop and ideally a daily close below the 1708 zone in order to aim for slightly lower levels here, maybe towards this lower side of the range, or near this 100-day EMA. So but that, again, the downside seems to be slightly off the table for now. We are leaning a little bit more to the upside. However, to get comfortable with higher levels, we need that break above the 1748 zone. Ethereum. Now, Ethereum, and just a quick update here, because not much is, well, not very exciting lately, but it's currently kind of balancing at this upside support line taken from the low, the 13th of March. So in a way, for now, guys, we will kind of, let's say, we'll stay a little bit on the neutral side, to be honest, because it kind of violated this upside line, and it's neither even actually moving lower nor moving higher. So basically we're neutral on this one, and as you can see by the chart here, for us to maybe start considering higher levels, we would need to see a push above the 252.50 zone and then aim for higher levels. And in terms of the downside, we would prefer to wait for a drop below the 217 zone and then consider lower levels. But until then, we're just gonna stay neutral here. Jumping into a few pairs, USDCAD. Now, this is what I talked about this one this morning, and basically, this is what I was saying previously, that although we could be seeing here a possible bullish flag here, still a confirmation break here somewhere above the 1.3666 zone would be required. And this is what I kept saying for the past couple of videos, where I was covering USDCAD, and what I was saying, that again, to get a little bit more comfortable with higher levels, we would like to wait for a push above the 1.3666 zone. And this is exactly why, because this morning it seemed like we could push a little bit further north. However, you can see that it reversed lower. So yep, that's why we'll remain a bit on the cautious side. And even with the downside, we would like to wait for a drop below the 1.3488 zone and then aim for lower levels. So until then, until we get a clear breakthrough one of these through one of these levels, we're not really doing anything here and just observing the price action. Quick update on GBPUSD. Here the interesting bit is that the pair is drifting lower now. Although we had some decent retail sales figures today coming out from UK, still that's not enough, as you can see. Yep, GBPUSD is sliding lower. In general, the pound is moving lower, and yep, as you can see, it's moving further south. This morning I talked about this pair, and I was saying that be very careful, because although this morning we were correcting a little bit higher, the rate was still below this upside line, so which kind of creates this little bit of a bearish atmosphere. However, to consider further declines, we would like to wait for a drop below this 1.2363 level right here, and ideally we would like to see a daily close below this, and then maybe, yep, aim for the 1.2077 zone, which is the lowest point of May. That's in terms of GBPUSD. GBPNZD is, as you can see, is kind of a little bit on a bigger decline, and yep, it's breaking below its lowest point of October. Yesterday it did also break below it, however it kind of closed the daily candle above it, but today we're seeing a further move lower, a strong move below this lowest point of October 2019, and where the next target here, and as I've mentioned previously this week in one of my videos where I was covering GBPNZD, our next target here could be around this 1.9115 zone, marked by the low of the 12th of September. So yep, for now that's going to be our target. Of course, slightly below that we do have the lowest point of September 2019, roughly around the 1.8996 zone. But again, we'll get to that if we get a violation of this 1.9115 zone. Euro dollar against Turkish lira. Now that's something that I haven't looked at for quite a while, and after the pair peaked and kind of reached its all-time high near the 7.8540 zone, it drifted then to the downside. It found support around here near the 7.3480 zone, and from here it reversed and pushed higher. Now if you look at this picture here, and if you're familiar with different patterns, you can see that there is a possibility maybe to see a possible double top here. However, that's way too early to talk about that. For a double top, we would need to see this one drifting all the way back down and then kind of breaking the neckline here, which in this situation would be somewhere around the 7.3480 zone here, this low that we reached in the end of May, around the 26th of May. And by the way, that's the lowest point of May as well. But again, from how you could play this one out is, of course, keep your eyes on some of these support and resistance levels. Now, some of which I'll just quickly put on the chart. Let me just clear up this one. And if we get a drop below somewhere around here, let me just let me just double check this very quickly. No, probably it's going to be most likely around here. There we go. So if we get a drop around 7.62 territory, roughly around here, which marks the high of the 29th of May and is marked near the low of the 5th of June, this could also place the rate below the 21-day EMA, and maybe more sellers could see this as a good opportunity to step in and drive this one lower. So that's why if we do get a drop below the 7.6180 zone, then yes, further declines could be possible. And in terms of the upside, we would need to see a nice good push above the high of this recent high, the current highest point of June, near the 7.7960 zone, and then we could aim for higher levels. So for now, guys, be very careful here and keep your eyes on these two levels. Euro GBP. So this is working out perfectly, as I've talked about this week. Basically, finally we're violating this level, and you can see we're having a strong move above this, the upper side of the range, which kind of was in play here from around the end of May. And of course, the big question, will it stay here above this area, above this 0.9020 zone? If the daily candle will stay above this 0.9020 zone, it seems, for now, it seems that it could stay above it, and if so, then maybe next week we could see a further continuation move to the upside towards the 0.9150 zone. That's going to be our main target at the moment, and then we'll take it from there. And finally, Euro USD. So the pair is rebounding, and yep, this is what I talked about this morning, that we could see a possible move higher. However, keep your eyes on this 1.1237 zone, which, as you can see, continues to provide decent resistance. So we did have a brief overshoot here, but it is still kind of failing to kind of stay above this barrier. So that's why we'll keep a close eye on this one, and if it continues to struggle to get back and above this 1.1237 zone, now this could be something very interesting for the bears next week, going into next week, because if this barrier continues to provide decent resistance, then we could see a nice reversal back to the downside here. However, if we do get a daily close here above this 1.1237, well, I mean, keep your eyes on slightly higher levels here then. However, as I've mentioned before, the more comfortable level for us, after a break of which we could aim for lower areas, could be after a break of this 1.1384 zone, roughly around here, and then we could consider higher levels. But to be honest, I will reevaluate this again if we get that eventually, if we get that break and a daily close above this 1.1237, because if this pair does stay here above this level, then maybe we could actually start looking at some higher levels a little bit earlier, maybe after a break of this short-term tentative downside line. But again, that's still just an idea. But if like I said, if we'll get to this if we see a nice good daily close above this 1.1237 zone. For now, it is just hanging slightly below this, so let's see if this area will continue to provide decent resistance. If it can continue to provide decent resistance, maybe actually we could see another round of selling again going into next week. So guys, I really hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you guys will have a fantastic weekend, guys. Stay safe, and don't overtrade today if you're still trading. Remember, it's Friday, so yep, it's better to kind of go and relax a little bit if you can. But yeah, guys, I'll see you. Let's catch up on Monday in my traders espresso, as always, 6 o'clock GMT time. But for now, guys, have a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Thank you very much, and bye bye.